Hey guys, I'm Christine, and during this coronavirus pandemic, I'm checking in with small business owners I know here in the South Bay area and seeing how they're doing and maybe learn about ways that we could possibly help. Alan and I did a story together a couple of years ago, and so much has changed. Tell me about kind of your new reality now here as a realtor.
Well, the listings I have are on hold because the people are just not sure how we're going to actually market the house. I do have great ways to market them, doing virtual tours. In fact, yesterday I was at a place doing a final walkthrough with a hood and goggles and a mask and booties and rubber gloves. My seller went somewhere with her dog, I know. And the young buyer was standing outside with her parents with masks and gloves, and they are all walking around the outside of the house, and I was inside the house with a Zoom so that her agent doesn't have to share her client's information to me. So we're using Zoom a lot. We're using these neutral platforms to meet people and say, okay, let's have a meeting. And I walk through the house. Can you look under the sink? Yeah, sure. Can you turn on the sink? Yeah, It's not leaking. Oh, well, here's the sink, and there's no leaks. Yeah. So we are able to look at all the things that are necessary to look at. There are going to need to be home inspectors that come in there, and now we have waivers that we have to sign. It basically says that buyers or sellers could back out or postpone is the primary instrument. We don't want to have people just walking away. We would like to have them just postpone because lenders are not going to work. Yeah. So from the lending institutions all the way to the person selling the house, it's not so easy right now. One of my clients, we're supposed to close escrow in about 6 days. She just opened escrow 2 days ago on her new purchase home. So we're going to rush as much as we can. However, her lender will still need to get an appraisal, and it's all because of this. Yeah. Everything's just taking longer.
What kind of hit are you taking as a business owner, a small business owner?
No new business. And so in our business, our money and our paycheck comes in 30 to 45 days. So at the moment, I'm going to get paid in a couple days for a couple jobs from January, February, March. And then I have no prospects. So there's some personal loans that are happening from the government, the Paycheck Protection Program, and other programs that are taking place from the government, which I'm applying for. I'm going to put my mortgages on hold, forbearance it's called. It doesn't forgive anything. In fact, you'll pay more later. But at least I don't have to worry about those things right now.
You said there are some fees too that you might have to be late on.
Oh yeah, property tax. April 10th is late, the day after. It's one of those things where it's tough to put that money out when I have to buy food and groceries for my kids.
Even though you're struggling, you decided to make a really big purchase that really benefits the entire community. It's something that you've been doing for years. Why was it important for you to buy these American flags again this year when you're struggling so much?
I think it really helps us come together as a people. Our flag, it's the one thing that really unites us all. We're not all the same ethnicity. We don't have the same religions. We don't even like each other sometimes. The way people act towards each other is pretty harsh. But since this whole thing's happened, I've seen an outpouring of for the most part, a lot of graciousness and gratitude where you don't usually get to see that. Putting flags in everybody's yard this year will be extra special. I get to get out of the house to go and walk around away from my house, and I feel like it's an essential thing to do to boost morale, because without hope, there's nothing.
But you said it's still a financial burden, and you waited until the last minute to purchase them.
I did. I waited till the last minute because I have property taxes are due. So I put off my property taxes to buy these flags. They have a sale that goes to the end of March. After March, they're 50 cents each. Before March, they're 40 cents each. And when you're buying 4,000 of them, that's like $400 extra. So I'm like, I guess it would have been the same if I paid my property tax. It was either one, but I'll get the flags, gotta get them going. I can pay my property tax. The county tax collector is not going anywhere. In fact, they'll come find me.
This year, you could use some help. Why is it meaningful for you if people pitch in their time to help plant these?
Because it is a process for 4,000 of them to get down, and you have to turn and make a hole for the flag, because the flags are about 1/4 inch. So they have to be put in the ground firmly. Otherwise they're falling over, and that's bad. You don't want to see a bunch of American flags laying in the gutter. So if people could help, that'd be great, because the 4 or 5 guys who usually help me, I take them in my wife's minivan or in my truck, and we drive around and we do a whole area in one day, and we get in the truck, out of the truck, we got water, a lot of contact and close proximity. And right now we're this physical distancing that we're doing, and the physical distancing that we're under strict order to complete would totally not make that possible. But I could drop some off, say if somebody wanted 40 or 50 for their block, and they could do their block. I can mark off that little block on my map because I have 4,000 houses from the big triangle of North Torrance on this side of the 405.
So for the people that actually want to help out who live in North Torrance, how can they get a hold of you?
Just email me and just tell me, you know, where you live. I'm keeping it within the boundaries of the North Torrance area, but you know what, for this year, wherever I don't get the flags, if you're really passionate about doing your block, somebody could contact me and I can bring you however many people are in your block. There's usually about 25 to 50 houses on a block. And if you want to do your block, I will bring it to you and show you how to do it. And it has to be done at this part of the year also because the ground gets so hard in July. I started off doing it for July 4th and the next year I did it for Memorial Day. And that was very appropriate because you have Armed Forces Day, which we don't get a parade this year, Memorial Day, and then July 4th. And I just tell people, please take them out of the yard and then they can last and put it back out for Veterans Day. And some people just, if you drive around here, you'll see people have them in their yard all year round. In fact, I see some people putting them in their flag holder. I know. Every year it's grown a little bit, and this year didn't grow because last year my business went down. So
helping to keep your morale up, or your children and your wife, right?
My wife had a great idea the first week of this quarantine, stay at home. She said, hey, let's make thank you signs for all of the workers, like the people who are still out there delivering: Amazon, UPS, USPS, the Postal Service, the grocery store, for goodness sakes. Thank you to all of the doctors, nurses. I could not begin to remember everyone that we should thank. All the first responders, people that make it possible for us to stay at home. So we made these little thank you signs and stuck them in our yard. And she said, you got all these real estate signs, you can't use them. So we put it on butcher paper and just taped it over. But it was really nice that they made those, and they made a beautiful one and put it in the window. It took a couple days for the kids to color them. It was a nice activity and teach the kids the importance of everyone.
And something else that's been helping you during these hard times is your love for music. The last story I did with you, I mean, you told me about your passion for music. You had a guitar in your office, and now you're actually seeing some growth on your YouTube, and it's changed a little bit. You said you incorporate your kids now and the songs that you sing.
Yeah. I was a public school teacher for 13 years, and one of my credentials for teaching is chorus, singing, because I was in choruses all my life. And so I've been the volunteer teacher at Lincoln for 2 years. Since I quit teaching public schools and getting a salary, I've been doing it for free at Lincoln Elementary School. So when this all stopped, I'm like, oh man. My son's first grade teacher, she said, maybe you can just make a video and we could do a live sing-along with the kids every Friday. And then they had so much fun, we decided to do it every Wednesday and Friday. The first song we're gonna do for the little kiddos who are stuck at home, like us, the kids come and sing, and it's been fun for my kids, my nephews in Minnesota, my nephews up in other parts of the country, my family members. And then last night I did my first ever show on Facebook Live. Yes, only love can break your heart. For my friends, like my own original materials and some cover songs. So that was pretty cool. It's better than dirty, stinky dive bars. Now I can play at my house.
You're really tapping into that extra time by going back to your music.
Yeah, getting into the creativity. One of my friends posted something this morning, a fellow named Chadwick. He posted this poem. It was a lady from she was born in the 19th century, and there was a picture of these ladies with face masks. I believe it was from the Spanish flu. And it was a beautiful poem about how everybody got back into their own creativity and art and learned how to live with each other, and because they were also under quarantine back then. There's a lot of blessings that have come from staying at home.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add or share?
No, I appreciate you asking about the flags, and it's great to get the exposure for my business, and that's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thanks so much for watching, and see you again real soon. Bye.